Welcome to EMDR Playground, where the science of EMDR meets the creative wisdom of play. Well, hey there, I'm Jackie Flynn, an EMDR approved consultant, a trainer, and a play therapist. Here we explore how EMDR integrates with Sandtray, art, movement, and the natural world in ways that open the door to transformation. In today's episode, I get to have a conversation with Dr. Roz Heiko. She's a psychologist, a teacher, and a lifelong student of sand. We talk about Sandtray therapy, what it is, how it works, and why it fits so naturally with EMDR. I have been integrating the two for about a decade now, and it still amazes me every single time. The depth, the symbolism, and the way it gives access to what words just can't. Dr. Roz is a licensed psychologist. She's a sandplay teacher, a registered sand therapist, a teacher and consultant, and a registered play therapist supervisor. She's trained therapists from all over the world, and now she serves as president and founding board member of the World Association of Sand Therapy Professionals, WASP. What I love about this conversation is how passionate she is, and she's super fun. She carries both wisdom and play in the same breath. I am so grateful to share this space with her. So let's dive into this conversation with Dr. Roz Heiko. Hey, Roz, it's great to see you.
Hello. I'm delighted to be here. Thank you. This is an inaugural podcast here.
Yes. Yes, you're the first guest after the rebrand of the Play Therapy Community podcast, and I can't think of a better person. You're really special to me over the years. When I think about, I just got a whole wave of like that love feeling in my body. When I think about Sandtray, and I think about welcoming, and I think about the power, the healing power of symbolism and true safety in a relationship, and being able to really heal some wounds that are beyond the limitation of words, you come to mind.
You are very kind.
It's the truth. It's the truth. Now, before we start our conversation, I just want to set the stage a little bit. This is following a conversation that I had with you for the recent Innovative Child Therapy Symposium. And in that interview, we were just talking about like what Sandtray is, very basic, just a little snippet of what Sandtray is and what it could do. And you were in your office in that video, and I'm like in question mode, just kind of colleague to colleague, and you showed us around the room, and then you put your hands in the sand, and you went over to your miniature shelf, the little figures that offer such meaning through metaphor and imagery and tactile the pieces. And I seen a figure on there that caught like I felt a jolt to my body just as you were showing your selection, which for a sand play therapist is a big deal. And people's sand
It really is.
it could be a big deal, and it can hold your heart. But you showed a Saint Michael, which is a just part of the meaning that it had for me. Actually, this is it here. And for those of you just listening, it's it looks to be like a handmade figurine, and very detailed. It's just beautiful. And this one, and not all miniatures, like miniatures can be a wide array of different things, but this one is like very high quality. And I seen it, and I felt a jolt in my body. I was like, oh, hey, oh, St. Michael. And you stopped there, and then we went over to the Sandtray. Meanwhile, we didn't go over there together. I'm online states away, and you put it in the sand, and we talked through it and moved through it. And then the days after that, the weeks after that, I had like just a moving experience of something that had been stuck in my nervous system since 2012. I had a spiritual rupture with my dad's funeral. It was a I was Catholic. I grew up Catholic, and then after that spiritual rupture, it's like I'm not Catholic anymore. And that went right to it. Time travel, like right to it.
Just bounce back, bounced right back.
And you had
Absolutely.
no information. You didn't know any of that. You just had, or I wouldn't say just because of it's so very powerful. You had a selection of just materials that could offer whatever meaning that I needed to be able to pull my story out of in ways that I would have never talked about that. I haven't even thought about it in years, really. And I didn't, quite frankly, even want to heal from it. I was like, that's just so,
We don't want to be stopped in our tracks. We're kind of like, no, I'm good. I don't need to go there. And then a symbol has such resonance. It between us, we talk about in the relational field, and it can happen over Zoom as well as over a tray, as well as between therapist and client. It's really kind of, it's not woo woo. It's this neural connection that can happen between beings. It's just wonderful.
It is wonderful. And I think when you first learn it, it seems like, I'm going to say this word,
Magic.
and I know it's not
Oh,
magic, but it seems like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I know, and I just want to start with that story, but I know like you are, I want to get some context for our listeners. There is an amazing international, like WASP, I'll allow you to, or I'll allow you, I'll ask you to, like, just describe it. And then you like have events and stuff. I know you have something coming up in Ireland, which sounds so exciting. So I'd like to talk through like um what is Sandtray and just really what is the path to be able to use this in a therapeutic way and for our EMDR trained therapists. I'm a big believer in the best EMDR trainings are sometimes non-EMDR trainings, because if we know EMDR really well, we can take that knowledge and integrate it into the EMDR and make and create a way of being, a way of offering a healing opportunity for people that maybe
of course.
hasn't been created yet. So if you're EMDR trained, you're listening to this, know that this can fit in each phase of EMDR therapy.
There's this synergy between different modalities. I was trained, I'm not going to say years before you were born in EMDR, but I was trained with fingers pointing and hands pointing. It was that far back.
That's a while back.
Francine used one finger when she started. If anyone knows those videos, but I use EMDR as well, and but I think the synergy is amazing. So I am currently president of this World Association of Sand Therapy Professionals, and I also hold a certification as a sandplay therapist with another organization that I really respect a great deal, and it's international and in the U.S. and in different countries as well. And the World Association believes that everybody who wants to learn about sand and miniatures, we call them symbols, beings, we call them, they're not really toys because they're invested with certain associations, certain power. We take water, trays, sand, and these symbols, and we put them together in something a bit different than play therapy, but can be part of play therapy. And we present that to clients and say, here, make of that what you will. And some people do more directed work with families, with couples, with individuals. I tend to do work that is more individual, but I certainly do symbol work with families and whoever's coming in that has issues, challenges that they want to deal with. And so the World Association has a certification program. So you can become certified in foundational work what is the meaning of what we're doing? What the heck is happening here? And how can we, as the person of the therapist, of the Sandtray therapy, how can we connect with our clients, and what are they doing in the sand when they pick figures and put them together? Like, what are those places, those landscapes? What are they about? There are ways that we can interpret that. Um, in fact, Jackie, I wrote a book about it.
Wow.
Um, I'm lost. Anywhere I go, I never figure out where I am. So I wrote a book about mapping sandplay journeys and figuring out where you are. So the World Association.
Roz, what's the
Oh,
title?
you're asking me a direct question, Jackie, and though I've spent 10 years on that book, so it's a heroine's journey in sand.
Oh, wow.
Um,
Oh,
and a funny thing about that is that the my relatives who do not understand what the heck I'm doing would ask me if I was doing something about heroin. And I would say, no, 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 no. This is not about drugs. This is about a heroine's journey. How do we make a heroic journey in sand and figure out where people are going to find their mastery, their confidence, their sense of themselves, and challenge themselves to show up in those figures, in the sand and water and figurative fire. This is hard to understand if you haven't kind of watched sand play and if you haven't had a sense of that. And so part of this is that people stand in a room. In my play therapy room, I have shelves all over the room that are filled with these miniatures, these symbols. One time I had a little boy, I always have a lisper. So he was in and he said, Miss Wav, how come you don't hang things from the ceiling? And I have so many toys and so many miniatures and symbols. I said to him, if I hung them from the ceiling, we'd never make our way around here. So people walk into a room where there are trays of dry and wet sand. And in my room, you can put a lot of water in. And I have lots of different kinds of sand and lots of trays. And they can pick figures, but they can also move the sand and just enjoy the sensory experience of, like, remember what the beach life is like and all of that kind of thing, of kind of creating space and then putting in figures that speak to our challenges. You said that you were talking to folks about picking Saint Michael.
yeah.
That figure was made by a very dear friend and artist, Georgia Mann, and she has these archetypal figures, Georgia Mann archetypes that are just extraordinary. And she imbues these figures with symbols and with unbelievable expertise. I asked her to create that for me because in Hebrew, there's a lullaby that you bring the angel energy to you, Michael, Uriel, Raphael, and you shelter your loved ones with it and sing them to sleep. So Michael is the one who is the warrior who really brings that protection forward. And she created that for me. So these figures are not just toys, but they're imbued with some power. And it can speak to us in many, many, many deep ways. Of course, we can put together landscapes that talk about rest or comfort, but we also show what we're afraid of in these places. And we watch how someone does that over time. So that's in a nutshell what that's about.
So powerful. And that is just most beautiful, beautiful, like piece of art ever. And when I hold it, I just feel the meaning that it has for me. And I think about when we're in phase one history taking, if we do it without any kind of expressive modality, it looks very question answer, and it's relying a lot on the memory and what words can grab, and then we put that on paper. I mean, just even to go back, and we didn't even have a Sandtray session, so I'm just pulling from just a little experience that we had online. You had no idea of my story, and that one figure held a pain point that hurt really bad when I went back to it. And I've been carrying that. And I think a lot of times we're carrying stuff we wouldn't even know to say, because if I was to schedule an EMDR session with you and you asked me my history, that wouldn't have made the list. But it sure was activated the moment, and then I've made some shifts since then. So I think the power of the metaphor and the sensory experience that you describe, you have all those sand trays, you have the water, which you are overachiever, because that's just like amazing. Like, your place is incredible. And I know you're a sand tray trainer and you're going to do.
Honey, that's because I'm old or older or elderly or whatever, and I've had lots of time to collect, which is in and of itself a whole thing.
It's like a journey, like the heroine's journey. Heroine. Now I'm going to hear heroine.
You know, every sand person, I started out with just a tray of army guys and a sandbox that was actually for kitty litter. And of course there was no kitty litter in it. But there was sand in it. But I have gone from that to wooden trays that have, you know, paint, that marine grade paint, so that they can hold water. I mean, this takes a long time to learn about connections and myths and stories, and to kind of work with people so we're comfortable with the diversity of folks, with being a sheltering space and being comfortable with that, because, you know, things are getting more and more challenging in this world. There's so much more fear and so much more sadness that we have to hold as therapists. And so our clients are holding. So this offers us a way to get in touch with people very quickly. But with, you know, we talk about top down and bottom up processing. This sensory way of connecting with people is exactly what sand does. This sand play moves people into being able to connect with their sensory, their internal perception, in interoception, and that sense of being sheltered while we connect. So
That's
I, yeah,
That's incredible. What you just described is like, I think one of the most valuable things is it offers the opportunity for safety when we're moving towards some really unsafe memories. And the
yes.
senses, gosh, I think about like a little baby born. That's how they're taken in the world. So this can get to some places that are stored where words can't even reach. Maybe something happened in utero or intergenerationally, or trauma.
There's wounding. Absolutely. We're in the kind of sand play practice I do. I don't lead people, but I guide as we talk about issues, but not over the tray. And people will generate this sense of, I want to go on this journey to figure some things out. And I'm with them, but I don't tell them what to do. And that's confusing sometimes, because we therapists are supposed to know how to make people comfortable, how to guide them, how to get them to heal. And in this way, we trust that people have this connection to this archetypal, this big energy that says, we want to heal, we want to do better. Those kind of people are going to show up in our offices. Generally, the kids that show up have no clue why their parents want them to be there, and they just don't want to be there sometimes. But we're gonna kind of help them to get to the place where they're willing. We're gonna try really hard. Um,
That's beautiful. It sounds so respectful of the nervous system, almost like I believe in the wisdom of your body to be able to do what it needs to do. I'm going to be here as a support, and I'm with you rather than I'm in charge of you.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
And we are going to be going to a magical place in a little bit next September. Um, in 2026, we are going to give people a taste of that in a week retreat in Ireland.
Wow. Oh my gosh, Ireland. Wow. Now, how are you like as far as like the logistics of that? Like, you have all these.
Two friends and I, two colleagues, Masha Bennett in the UK and Maggie McEachern, who is a also a sandplay therapist and a play therapist supervisor. Um, are going to be going to Ireland, and Maggie is going to be living there. She has many connections there. Her partner is Irish, and they found a castle. She found a castle, and we're going to spend a week touching in about play therapy, about nature play. I'm going to lead. It's going to be misty in Ireland. It's going to have some rain, but we're going to go out on the castle grounds and have an experience of nature play out in the trees in the forest nearby. And I'm going to also lead a guided imagery one afternoon on teaching children and teens how to use a meditative experience and then use expressive arts and sand to be able to work through things. Masha's going to teach about sound healing and sand, and Maggie's going to teach a magical way of mapping how in play therapy children can learn how to map what their challenges are and literally make maps out of them, which are extraordinary. And then we're going to go play. We're going to have some experiences of dancing and fireside storytelling and all kinds of things. So I'm so excited about it.
So real. Let me get this straight. That almost just sounds like unreal. So, like a real castle, and it's in Ireland,
I
and
think there are ghosts. I think they have like legends about ghosts there. I mean,
that could be part of the fire stars. Oh my God, I can't even
I get
think.
really scared. I'm going to tell some stories, but we also have an Irish storyteller, and it's going to be during the autumn equinox. So we're going to have some lovely rituals and enjoy that.
And is Masha? I think she was a previous guest on my podcast. Is it the same Masha out of the UK?
Yes,
That
yes,
like her? She's like her
she's
sound.
extraordinary.
I mean, sound. I mean, I'm sure sound too, but sound. Well, you have it all covered. It sounds like with the sand going out in the rain, and then being in the
Well,
castle.
not like a hurricane or anything, just a little mist, you know. And Masha's gonna bring the bowls and the gongs for sound, and we're also gonna give people an opportunity to play in the sand with miniatures, with symbols. We're gonna have those available so people can figure out what that's like and kind of play with the idea of using sand. And we'll have some experiential activities. So
I don't even think words can describe how like amazing that sand therapy is in general, but this like experience in Ireland. Oh my gosh, how'd you think this up? Like,
Maggie did. Maggie called and she said, "Would you like to do this?" And I said, "Are you kidding? Castle in Ireland? Yes." I would love that. And Maggie is going to be living there at the time. So we're going to have lots of ways that people can, enjoy before or after and kind of offer, here's where you could go. Here's what you can do, on your own, not just with our group during that week.
and there's gonna be fireside chats. Oh, that sounds amazing. And maybe ghosts. So fun.
That just makes me really nervous. I don't know about ghosts, but yes. Angelic energy, yes, but ghosts, no.
Oh my gosh, it's gonna be great. And the people there too. I think about like even just like rewinding back to my first experience with just even Sandtray therapy back in grad school. They just had some just little bins and we had our first toe dip into it. there's a before and after that changed my life. I can't imagine what this Ireland retreat must be like with
We want to make this an experience that we remember for a long time. And I think connections, the whole reason we get into being therapists, isn't it, is not just because we have wounding and we understand how much courage it takes for other people. We also generally love people and are curious about them. And I think kind of bringing us together and really offering connection and humor and in the face of the difficulties we have, the suffering we see, is absolutely essential. So we need these experiences.
Yes, and a castle, it just represents almost, that seems like the largest miniature. What a paradox. When you think about a castle is like, it's a safe haven for like is the battles that's happening. I guess I'm not like a castle like
That's beautiful. We have to protect ourselves and we have to shelter the people that live around there, and we bring them in and connect them and offer a way of organizing the world. So absolutely, I love that. I love that metaphor.
a way of organizing the world. Wow. Oh, it's so good. Now we're almost out of time, Roz, but I want to know, like, I want people to know where they could go to learn more from you, and like whether they want to get credentialed in Sandtray therapy, go to the retreat, or whatever. Like, do you offer consultation, supervision? And I'll have the links right below this video if you're watching online, or if you are listening, you can go to JackieFlynnConsulting.com and grab the links in the show notes.
Wonderful. And we, in the World Association, we are really committed to offering a sand community that shelters every different type of therapist modality, and we want to offer that to people. There's no one right way to do this work, to do any of this work. And so we offer a credential, and we also offer mentoring and training. I do consulting, and I do a lot of process work. So I see people for their own work in the sand. And I did that for myself with a mentor and my process person. And I love doing that. And so the links for the retreat and for the World Association will be there.
Okay. Does the retreat have a title? Like, is there a name?
It does. Adventures in Sand and Sound and Story. It's called A Castle Retreat, Exploring the Heart of Sand and Play Therapy.
Wow.
It's a long, long title.
That's beautiful. Sand, sound, and story. Wow. And I know it's all right that I shared this because Heather shared it on her symposium interview. She does some like work with you, or at least she had like a session with you, and she just raved. Like, I know Roz. I know her. I know her.
She's wonderful. Wonderful. Just wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh.
Heather Fairley Dimbro. If you don't know who I think she's out of either Seattle or Oregon, one of those states that's up there in the
Somewhere out in the Pacific Northwest. I had the privilege of working with her agency over 2 times. I did not go out there, but online we worked on an introduction to sand, and she has the most amazing group of professionals she works with, and she's delightful, and her energy and her openness and her heart is just amazing, as is yours. Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you, Roz. Thank you. I'm having an experience just even hearing you speak. Thank you. Thank you for sharing this, and thanks for all you do for the world. And wow, I know the Ireland retreat, the trainings, the credentialing, all of it. You're wonderful. And thank you for my St. Michael. Bye now.
Bye.
Thank you for spending time with us, and a special thank you to Dr. Roz Heiko for sharing her wisdom and heart. If this conversation sparked something for you and you'd like to go deeper into the work, visit me at JackieFlynnConsulting.com. That's where you'll find out information about my EMDR approved trainings, consultation groups, and upcoming events. They're all designed to help therapists bring EMDR to life with fidelity, creativity, and confidence. You'll also find links to other podcast episodes and resources and ways to just stay connected with the EMDR Playground community. I'm so glad you're here. Take good care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next episode.